neck knife philosophy video. Now if you guys know, and if you didn't know, or you couldn't already tell by watching my channel, just looking at this array here that I have of knives, you can tell that I am in bushcrafting particularly keen to neck knives, and really ever since I've started bushcrafting, and this is like the first neck knife that started it all really for me. But ever since I started bushcrafting, I have always worn neck knives, and I'm now going to explain some of the philosophy or some of the reasoning to why I love neck knives, why I love this size of blade so much. Because it's not just that I love neck knives, but also this size, this general size of blade is what I love a lot. Not to say that I don't like knives such as this Tops B.O.B. Fieldcraft. That knife is still really awesome, and I still like knives that are larger than this, but primarily nowadays when I get knives, I tend to just stick around this size range just because it's my favorite, and I tend to use knives around this size range the most. So as you guys can see on this table, and this is the reason why I brought out quite a few neck knives. I think this is actually all my neck knives. I don't have that many, but I brought them all out just to show you the variances in different types. Primarily you can see leather like this is, I wouldn't necessarily say my favorite, but I do have a lot of it, and it does work very well. But I also do have a few plastic sheaths and some sheaths that run upside down instead of right side up. But like I was saying, as an overall rule generally, I like this size of knife, and I like particularly this size with a neck knife sheath. So first I'm going to get into why I like this size of knife, and then I'll get into why I like matching it with a neck, or a necklace, I should say. Because all these knives can be worn on the belt, and so there is a particular reason why I like to wear them around my neck. The reason why I like this size so much is because when paired, and I've always been a strong believer of pairing your tools, not to just go with a one tool option, but to pair your tools, such as these knives, with a larger axe or saw. And when pairing a knife with a larger tool, you can pair it with something like the Tops Fieldcraft. It will work, but when pairing it with such a larger knife, weight tends to become an issue, and you can't really do, if you're running an axe, you can't really do a whole lot more with something like the Fieldcraft than with any of these knives here. So to carry all that extra weight and all that extra size in the blade really gets hard to justify. That's why, as a rule, I generally like to carry this size. Of course, thicknesses differ. When I can help it, I do like to kind of carry on the kind of thicker side. I don't necessarily like to carry, this is about as thick as I like to carry, and this is about, I think 17 or 0.17 of an inch. So it's pretty thick, but not that thick. It's definitely not quarter inch or anywhere close to quarter inch. Thickness does aid when you do want to do batoning on smaller objects, like when you're working kindling down to get very small, very feather stickable things. You don't necessarily want to have to use your axe, but you want something that can really baton smaller objects really well. So that's why I like these kind of thicker knives. I do prefer visible full tang, such as this, whenever I can get it. Of course, a couple of these knives are enclosed tang, this one and this one. But it's not necessarily necessary to have visible tang, because like I said, a lot of your hard work will be put onto your saws and your axes. Other than being lightweight, also being small helps with maneuverability and fine tasks such as dressing game, which I know not every bushcrafter does, or not every bushcrafter does frequently, but there are quite a few that do dress game, and of course you can always dress squirrels or hares or whatever. I've done so with the Tops Fieldcraft, so using larger knives isn't impossible, but when you start to use these smaller knives like this one, as I've shown in videos, uh, it works really, really well, and you have a very fine, very maneuverable knife. And that just helps with making it easier to process game. So the maneuverability and weight savings um, are the primary reason why I like these knives. And like I said, if you're going to be working with any other tools such as axes or saws, it's just not necessary to carry larger knives. Now, I believe I've spent a lot of time addressing that topic about these size knives, but a topic that I haven't really addressed is why I just love wearing them as neck knives. And for everyone, it's going to be a personal preference whether you like wearing a knife around your neck or not. And of course, you'll have to get kind of used to the weight, especially if it's a heavier knife like this one or like this one. You just have to get used to the weight. For me, it's never been an issue, but for some people, they do have limitations, and some people just physically can't, due to neck injuries, wear such heavy pieces of steel around their neck for just hours at times. But I would say if you don't have any limitations, you do have to get used to it, but I wouldn't necessarily say that's a horrible thing. You do get used to it pretty fast. So for me, the advantages are one, that where I go and in Alaska, knives that are around the belt usually get caught up on a lot of things, and for me personally, it's more inconvenient to wear a knife around the belt or somewhere else other than the neck, because on the neck I can tuck it inside my shirt and it's completely gone. It won't get in my way at all, but whenever I need it, I can easily draw it out. So the fact that it pretty much disappears and is completely, does not limit me or hinder me at all, and it's still right there if I need it, is one of the biggest reasons why I like having it. As well, another really good reason is that if you do decide to wear your knife around your neck or at another point other than your belt, it also frees up the space on your belt so that you can carry things like axes or multi-tools, which are both things I do carry around my belt. And so it also frees up space that would be taken additionally by the knife. So that's also another nice reason. Once again, it also kind of goes back to personal preference and where you like the knife being. Personally, like I said, I find it more convenient for me to have them around my neck, and so that is some of the reasons why I love neck knife carrying, and these are some of the neck knives that I've carried and carry still. So guys, that's pretty much it. Like I said, these are the reasons, or those are some of the reasons why I carry them, or carry neck knives. I do love this size, regardless to if you carry these as a neck knife or not. This size is still my most recommended size, and that's pretty much everything I have to say about neck knives, guys. I'm out.